So in today's video, we're going to be putting together a blueprint for getting your financial house in order. So what does the financial house consist of? It consists of three major things. It consists of a foundation, a roof, and the floors. So let's get into what each of these things are. So if you've seen any house built, what is the first thing that gets laid down? It's the foundation. So what is the foundation to your financial house? The foundation consists of your life insurance program as well as your budget. So let's look at the life insurance. So life insurance is designed to replace the income of a lost loved one. So that way the house can still function and that income still keeps coming in, so you don't have to lose everything. The second thing is the budget. Now the budget, you want to make sure you have more money coming in than you do going out. So you want to make sure it's balanced and every dollar has an assignment so you know where it's going. So let's talk about the roof. The roof of the financial house consists of a few things. The first thing is making sure you have a solid legal plan in place with wills, power of attorneys, living will, so that way if there's a legal incident that happens, we know that that family's legal documents are in order, okay? Also, on the other side is we want to make sure that you have a great identity theft protection program, because it's not a matter of if you're going to get your identity stolen, it's really in today's day when. So we want to make sure that there's an identity program in place, so that way if something happens you can take care of that, okay? The next thing is the auto insurance. A lot of times people skimp on auto insurance and just get the state minimums. So you want to make sure that you have the proper coverage with your auto insurance, and get an agent and call your auto insurance guy to do this. Don't just go up on Geico or look up something on the web for what you think may be the best. Really consult an expert for all of these areas in order to make sure that you're properly protected, because if you don't have the right insurances in place, you get into a car accident, somebody can take your home. So you want to make sure you have the right auto insurance. Also, you want to make sure you have the right homeowner's insurance, and the plan covers everything that you need. If you're in a flood zone, you want to make sure that that's taken care of. If you have an older home, an antique home, there's some stipulations with that. So you want to make sure you talk to a good agent for that, as well as possibly getting an umbrella policy that covers everything. So the roof is basically your insurances and your legal plans. It's so important to have those things in place, because if you have a leaky roof in your house, it's going to mess up all the floors on the inside. So with those solid principles and solid insurances in place, you know that you're going to have the proper the proper protection in order for that to happen. The third part of your financial house is the floors. So let's take a look at what those floors entail. The first floor is going to be an emergency fund. You want to have about 3 to 6 months of emergency money or living expenses set aside in order to take care of anything that happens. Maybe if it's a loss of a job, a delay in pay for a little while, furloughed, anything like that, you want to make sure that you have that money set aside in order to live off of. Or if any emergency happens, like we just had to put a new boiler in one of our places, so you got to have heat, right? So make sure that you have an emergency fund in place for that. If you can't get to 3 to 6 months, at least start with $1,000 before you start any of the other floors, okay? The second floor is debt. So we want to make sure we're getting rid of all those high interest rate credit cards, any student loans, car payments, payday loans, anything with high interest rates, you want to try to eliminate as quickly as possible. Now there's two methods that most people recommend doing. One is called the debt snowball, and another one is the debt avalanche. The debt snowball is essentially paying off the lowest balance first and then taking the money you were paying and adding it to the next one. The debt avalanche is starting with the highest interest rate first and then paying each one off high to low in interest rates. So those are the two methods, and you can figure out which one's going to work best for you, and there's calculators online for that. So the third part and the third floor is your savings. Now we already talked about the first part of the savings, which is your emergency fund. The second part and third part are a short-term account and your long-term retirement accounts. So I have a video of the 3 floors and the 3 accounts you must have. Definitely check that out. I'll put a link in the description or a card that you can click on at the end of the video to guide you to that. So the second floor is designed to beat inflation. It's money that's set aside for bigger projects that you're not going to be doing within 3 years. So any money that's before 3 years, you're going to put into your your emergency fund. After that, that's not accounted for retirement is going to go in this secondary account. And you're going to be putting money in there in safer type investments, so that way you're not risking everything, but you want to make sure that it has some growth ability, so that way you're keeping up with inflation. And ideas for that would be a new deck on a house, if you want to use money for early retirement, maybe a child's wedding or their school, so any of those types of things. So that would be the second account. The third account is your retirement. And there's a bunch of different things you can do for retirement. You can do your 401k at work if you have that option, and then there's a bunch of different types of individual retirement accounts or work plans, depending if you're self-employed or if you're an employee somewhere. So those are the 3 areas that you want to make sure that you're focused on as far as your savings. So that is the financial house. It consists of the a solid foundation with life insurance and budget, your roof, which is your legal protection, identity theft protection, and also your home and auto insurance, and then your 3 floors, which is having a solid emergency fund, a great debt plan, and then a solid savings program. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you got value out of this. And again, if you liked what you saw, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Also leave a comment below. I'd like to know what you guys would like to learn more about. So thank you guys and have a great day.